Well, good morning. And on a slightly drier day today, which is fantastic. A little bit breezy, but I think we can work with that. Nice to get out. Tom Peters has driven through the night, 12-hour drive to come and spend the weekend with us, which he's very keen, that's all I can say. So the three of us are just walking around, Tom, Adam and I are just having a walk around this lovely oak woodland and trying to find something here. And it's absolutely beautiful through here. The rivers, as you can hear in the background, absolutely raging at the minute because of the amount of water we've had over the last few days. But looking through here, there's lovely, I think it's called old man's beard lichen hanging off the trees, and it just looks stunning. All the shapes and the green mosses just look awesome. And right the way through this area, as we're walking through here, it's like an oak forest. And there's mossy green boulders everywhere, lichens all over the tree. It's obviously an old area. So we're just going to have a walk around and a bit of an explore this morning. But I've already found a scene which I quite like the look of. And again, it's because all these branches are covered in this old man's beard lichen, and they're sprawled out all over the top of the white raging waters. And I think it'll make a pretty interesting shot, just maybe as a letterbox again. I'm getting a bit obsessed with all these 16:9 shots, but I just think that sort of letterbox look will really work fantastically for this scene. So I'll get set up and I'll try and walk you through what I'm going to take a shot of. So yeah, this scene, I'm just loving the lovely white water down here. And then either side, you've got these branches in the tops of the frame there, both sides, kind of hanging down in the frame with the lovely mosses over the top. Now, because of the wind today, the issue I'm kind of having again is I want the branches to remain still in the frame because I really want the viewer to be able to see those lovely lichens and the shapes and patterns that the branches are making. But I also don't want the water to be too crunchy, so I want to be able to smooth it out just a touch, somewhere around a fifth of a second, because it's really raging through here. So I'm going to take two shots, one at a faster shutter speed, around about I don't know, 1/250th of a second, somewhere around there for the branches to keep those still in this wind, and then another shot around about a quarter of a second, I think, for the water. And what I'll probably end up having to do is just blend the slower shot of the water into the faster shot with the sharper branches. But I think overall it'll probably work. And as I say, that sort of letterbox shape will really sort of make it for me, I think. So actually, while I've been stood here and I was photographing this wider scene that I saw, I actually noticed a more intimate scene that I think I probably like better. I think I was trying to get too much of this sort of letterbox framing in that I quite like. But I actually noticed down behind me, there was one of the branches with all the lichen on was actually closer to the water. So I've actually zoomed in on that, and I think it'll actually make a nice square crop. So I've concentrated more on that. I'll show you the shot that I got originally, which is the letterbox one, and then we'll move on to that squarer crop of the more intimate branch that I found lower to the river, and I think that actually works better. I think it's a simpler image. So yeah, so this nutter drove up, I don't know, 12 hours through the night, eh?
Yeah, I left my house at 7:15 Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I got here at 7:45 this morning. Yeah,
And only here for 2 days and going home again.
that's it, yeah. And I slept in, I think it was a Holiday Inn car park for an hour and a half as well. In the car.
Zonked. It's nice up here though, eh?
Oh yeah. It's, I was saying to Adam, it's like rugged and raw. What's the word? Like wild.
Yeah, well that's why I like it up here, eh? It's
yeah.
way wilder. I mean, I know we've got the lakes on my doorstep, but it's more
untouched, isn't it?
yeah, it's manicured, eh?
Yeah,
That's what I kind of...
Yeah. The lakes are far more manicured and farmed, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When you come up here, it's just kind of raw and wild, as you say. It's more rugged.
Yeah, which makes it hard to shoot these little woodlands, these little copse of trees.
Yeah, because they are messy, but I guess they're messy, but they've also got a lot of character about them. If you can pick out the bigger details, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But today's not actually too bad. I mean, it's raining, but it's not raining like it was yesterday.
And there is some light on
there.
there.
Yeah, we keep getting light over on the hills in the distance there, so...
We can drag Adam away from the river.
Yeah, and that tree. Well, that was my fault, to be fair. I've been stood there for about an hour photographing a branch over some water, but it looked great. Just hope it comes out the way it looks on the back of the camera. Otherwise, I've just spent an hour there. But yeah, there's light happening over on the hills, so you never know. This afternoon we might get out and get a bit of landscape work.
Just leave him.
Just leave him in the woods.
Yeah.
Well, he's got no transport apart from me.
That's it. Yeah, you are the chauffeur, the chef, the tour guide, the lot, aren't you?
Yeah. But no, he's I don't know.
The rose between two thorns.
Nah, it'd be good fun, mate. We'll have a good couple of days, hopefully, and get a bit of shooting done.
Yeah,
a couple of videos done. If we can ever find Mr. Gibbs again, if he appears.
You would have thought we'd seen him wearing that Johnny suit.
Oh yeah, you should see it. Honest to God, well, you will have seen it if you've been watching Instagram and what have you. He's been doing his little... Everywhere we went, he had to do a dance. So, and my youngest son, Alex, gave him some googly eyes. And he's been putting those on and... So he entertains the kids every night when I ring home. All you get from my little one is, "Where's Mr. Googly Eyes?" Adam's there giving it. So yeah, so we'll have a wander around, see what we can find. Hope the light improves, and catch up with you a bit later. Good morning, guys. Hope you're all doing well. So we've driven, a couple hours down the road to Glen Affric now, eh? And the roads are sketchy, to say the least.
Yeah, they're bumpy, yeah.
All single track roads and what have you. So we're just going to have a walk up to this viewpoint. There's a few trails down here. We just had a bit of look around and just going to have a walk up to this viewpoint and see what we can find. Adam's feeling rough, so he's going to have a kip for a couple of hours while we have a wander around in here.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it's nice through here. Yeah. There's lots of Scots pines around, and I think there's a view over the loch from this viewpoint, so if the cloud sort of parts, we might actually get something. Nice bit of light would be amazing.
Yeah, would be good.
Yeah.
It would be good to see the sun.
Yeah.
Because I forgot what it looks like.
Yeah, so me too.
Yeah.
We've had about 3 weeks up here, and I think I've seen the sun about twice. Right, so we'll have a walk up here and see what we can see and get back to you up at the top there.
Let's go.
finally come out at this viewpoint up here, and it's gorgeous. At least we've got some light now and there's no rain. Bonus! Woo! Awesome. So we've got some lovely light over the hills in the background there. I tell you something though, it's freezing up here. I think the temperature's really dropped, hasn't it, today, for coming down to this place anyway. It was warmer further north. But yeah, there's some lovely light hitting the pine tree forests on the other side of the loch there as well. Absolutely stunning. And the mountains are starting to clear off in the distance as well. The clouds are lifting off the top, so we're getting quite a nice view. So I've put the longer lens on and I'm just trying to pick out details. I've got this big pine tree in the foreground here that I want in my shot really. I think it makes a good sort of foreground subject. And then off in the distance you've got the hills in the background there with the light hitting them. Really quite nice. But I'm struggling with this, I was just saying to Tom, and he was finding the same thing with the histogram on these Sony cameras. It never matches what the blinkies are telling you. So if you look at your histogram, it looks as though everything's perfect, and then you go into the image once you've taken it and put the blinkies on, and it's flashing away overexposed. So what I tend to find works best for me is I tend to underexpose each of my shots just to make sure I get it right. Don't know whether I need to or not, or whether actually what's happening is recoverable, but to be on the safe side, I don't want to chance it. So yeah, just using this tree in the foreground, mountains off in the distance. I've taken a portrait shot. I've also taken landscape shot with the longer lens, and I think what I'll do as well is try a wider shot as well and try and capture some of these trees down here in the foreground as well. So on closer inspection on it, I'm not going to put the wide angle lens on at all because it's just too messy, eh? There's just too much going on in this foreground area. We've got trees either side and they're not necessarily in the best of positions really. We've got more trees dotted around further down the hill as well. Yeah, it's just not going to work for me, I don't think, with the wide angle lens on. So I think maybe the shot that I took with the tree in the kind of foreground might be my best shot from here. I think it would probably be better if you had a higher elevation and you were above that tree and you were able to get more of the hills in the background in. I think that might work better. But yeah, just got to make do with what you can get sometimes. Sometimes you just can't move positions enough to get the shot you want. So you just have to make the best of it as you can, really. So I've got that shot. I'll pop it up now if it's come out okay, and we'll move on and see what else we can find. So just on the way down this pathway here, I noticed there's a little grove of trees and the silver birch, and there's sort of lovely purple hues near the tops of them as well, and there's all this old man's beard. I'm getting a bit obsessed with this stuff as I spent all day yesterday taking pictures of the old man's beard on birch trees over some water. I like that shot as well, but it maybe looks a little bit busy, but I think there's definitely something there, and just if something catches your eye on the way past, I find it's always best just to stop and capture it. Because you may regret it later on if you don't. I mean, there might be nothing there, but the chances are, if something's caught your eye on the way past, it's probably worth stopping and trying to grab a shot. So what I've tried is, I went in quite wide at 28mm with my first shot to include a bit of one of these Scots pines on the left-hand side of the frame. Quite liked it, and then there's a little sort of Scots pine on the right-hand side. But what I've found is if I actually zoom in to 70mm and isolate more of the birch trees themselves and cut out a lot more, I think the shot actually works a lot better. I'll show you the two shots that I mean on the back of the camera and you can have a look. So as you can see in the back here, this is the zoomed in one at 70mm, and I've just focused in on this sort of Y branch on this birch here, and then you've got this little Scots pine on the right hand side. Now I think the scene's quite busy, but I definitely think there's something there, so I thought I'd give it a try anyway. The other one I'll show you is basically the zoomed out version, and all I did was zoom right out to include a bit of the pine tree on the left hand side of the frame there. But as you can see, you get a lot more of the heather in the foreground here, and I'm not sure that really adds anything to it. I think if you go in closer and tighter, it actually works a lot better for me. Look at that. So we're just going to have a bit of a yomp up this hill, eh?
Keeps the snozzle warm.
And see what we can find on the way up. Come to where is it called? What's the place called? Wassendless. Wattenleth.
You'll put it on the screen above.
Yeah, we will. Seeing as neither of us can talk.